Zulu sailing today. It's Wednesday. Super nice weather. Perfect wind, maybe 8 knots of wind. No other boats out, just some fishermen. Maybe this is the last sailing for this year. I hope not, but it will be really rough weather during the weekend. We'll try out gennaker myself, maybe some code zero. It will be fun. Starting with sailing some upwind here, straight to the sun to be able to set the gennaker. No reef today, as you can see. I forgot to release the dirk. I don't know what you say in English, but we call it, some people call it dirk, just to hold up the boom when you are setting sail. That should be much more loosened when you're sailing, so it doesn't affect the sails when you sheet in. I sailed upwind between Husholmarna and did some tack on my way up. I planned to check out if anyone in Linjett was out sailing, but it was super empty, no one was there. Just some few boats were heading for the mast crane to take up the boat. A tack out again. Prepared to set the gennaker. I did a gybe to be able to set it on port side more easily. The tack-line is on starboard. It works perfectly when you're two, but it's a mess. I will show you later. The spinnaker or gennaker halyard, that is on port side close to the mast, so I will try to optimize this a bit for the next season. I will show you my plans. Maybe you have some better ideas, but this is how I do it right now. Take a gybe back. Watch out for the boom. Furl in the gybe. The gennaker in this light wind, super easy to fill. In this wind, pretty much any maneuver is easy, or much easier when the wind decreases at least. Not too many other boats out there, only fishing nets and lobster, but there is something. The gennaker is up, and I also can see another sailing boat here, meeting another boat. Maybe they want to race today. Maybe it's a race today anyway, that I didn't know about. Or are they out fishing? Fantastic downwind anyway. I will intercept and see where they're going. They're furling out some sails. It's a Linjett 43 that I catch up with. I decided to just pass them and then take down my gennaker and see if I could reach up to them again. I'm a bit slow here, and also I didn't want to jibe and lose some meters, so I took down the gennaker on the leeward side, just like you do in smaller dinghies. Yeah, you can do it in bigger boats, of course, as well. But I have never done this with my boat, but the wind was light and I was going pretty flat, so I thought it will work fine. turned the boat almost 90 degrees and starting to go upwind again. Some loose tension on the sheet, so I could go a bit faster to intercept them again, and I got some great speed. Packed down the gennaker better, did some cleanup, and the speed increasing. The boat was a Linjett 43 with pretty fancy sails. It looks like it was sails from UK sails. I checked it out, and it's a Swedish brand, 13.3 meters, 43 feet long.
Ska ni till Skagen eller? Okej. Ja, jag med. Ut och öva lite. Perfekt. Sätter ni spinnaker också eller?
They asked me if I was Christopher. I am, and maybe they have seen some videos that I uploaded to YouTube before. Who knows? They were out cruising, so no bigger downwind sail for them today. Another racing boat. I will try to make one more gybe and set the spinnaker again, gennaker, and then some going home. It's 6 o'clock and it's dark in 1 hour. It started to get late, but I wanted to practice some gybing with a gennaker, and it was a perfect easy day to do that. I got some problem when I was going to set the tack-line or the gennaker get stuck, but I solved it and then raised everything, and went smoother. I think it would be a great idea to set a marker or mark the sheet, gennaker's sheet here, so I know how much I should pull before I set it. Beating the Linjett again before first gybe. The plan for next season is to have the tack-line and halyard. Here is the tack-line on the port side, and then an option to set it in a clam cleat on the starboard side. The same with the halyard for the gennaker, so I can hoist them to set them and release them on both sides without too much hassle. What do you think about that? Will that work, you think? How do you do? I know many people have all lines back to cockpit, but then you cannot set from the side as easily and you have less control. When I gybing with Autopilot, it works best with changing direction with 60 degrees, so that's plus 60 or minus 60. I usually have my remote control to do this, but the ship was failing or was getting some water over it, so but I have actually fixed that as we speak, so for next season it will work great again. In this light wind, of course, I should have my bigger gennaker for speed optimization, but it's so nice and easy to have this smaller one to work with. Other consideration is to have the gennaker in a snuffer-bag along the side here. I think that could work well as also, but I haven't tried it and I haven't seen any boat in this size have it, so but that could be something for next year as well. Here you can see what I'm doing when I take it down. In this light wind, yeah, this time it worked to release the tack first over the rooftop there and just take down everything in the bag, compared to when I messed up completely in the more heavy wind, when I released the tack and couldn't hold it as good or at all. Between husholmarna, perfect end of the season. Fantastic sailing today. Very good ending, as long as it's going okay parking the boat. It was a Linjett, I think 45 or 46, out racing with their 3DL sails. Really nice. It's lobster season in Sweden. I don't fish lobster, just sailing here. I wish I had my Autopilot remote control, but something's wrong with the control. I need to check what that would be. I did some gybes, practice some gybing. Went very well with this smaller gennaker. Super nice. I have some changes I need to do. Some block and for a tack-line. I have some ideas for some new ideas for next season to make it more efficient. To show a very good thing that has worked perfectly during this year, and that is the rudder-lock. So it's a line here, so you can lock the rudder if you just want to pull in the sheet for some second. You can straighten this. The rudder is locked. I will show you. So now you can move it. Now it's locked for some seconds. It's not an autopilot, but it's you hold the rudder and it's super quick to release. So like this, and it's loose. Super calm on the way back to the harbor or into the harbor. Usually calm when it's this wind direction. The last part of the harbor, I always go backwards, back into the dock, so I can have the stern pointing out, so I can have my bowsprit set before I start sailing. You can see almost all boats is already up. That's all for today. Hope you learned something. Hope I will learn something. Have a great time and see you